Why is the sky blue? I mean, it's the ultimate classic childhood question, right? We've all asked it, or, at least wondered about it while just laying back and staring up on a clear summer day. And hey, how about this one? What makes water freeze? Or why do your bicycle tires always seem to go flat? We all start our lives as these natural little observers, constantly questioning the world around us. And that innate desire to just figure out how things work, that is the exact spark, literally the catalyst, that ignites every great discovery in human history. So welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to dive right into the ever-evolving world of science. It's this incredible, never-ending journey of human curiosity that has literally built the modern lives we live today. Now, when you hear the word science, you might instantly picture some heavy, dusty textbook just crammed with static facts you have to memorize. But honestly, that couldn't be further from the truth. Science is the systematic study of the natural world. Yeah, but it's an active, highly dynamic process. It's a whole way of thinking, observing, and actually doing things. It's basically an open invitation to ask questions and run experiments to uncover the secrets of the universe. Pretty cool, right? And the crazy thing is, it all starts so much smaller than you might think. Take a simple observation, like watching a paper airplane glide through the air. Seems like just child's play, sure, but early inventors observed things exactly like that, along with the flight of birds and basic gliding mechanics. And those tiny, super simple observations, they eventually inspired massive, world-changing inventions, like the modern aircraft. You really don't need a high-tech lab to be an explorer either, because this curiosity is just built right into our everyday lives. Think about your own home. Have you ever noticed how a yellow turmeric stain on your shirt suddenly changes color when you wash it with soap? Or why certain fruits just instantly pucker your mouth with that sour taste? Or think about this one, how a tiny, dry little seed can magically grow into a massive plant? These everyday moments of curiosity, they're exactly where the journey of scientific discovery begins. So let's talk about the roadmap of discovery and how we navigate the unknown. Because if you're going on a journey, you're going to need a map, right? Well, scientists use a very specific roadmap called the scientific method. It basically breaks down into 4 clear steps. First up, observation. That's just using your senses to notice something. Second, you form a hypothesis, which is really just an educated guess. Like saying, if I do X, then Y is going to happen. Third is experimentation, where you actually roll up your sleeves and test that guess. And finally, conclusion. That's looking at your results to see if your hypothesis was right or wrong. It's not some rigid rule book, it's really more of a trusty compass for discovery. So the really crucial point here is how this applies to the real world. Think about freezing winter roads. People observe that icy roads are incredibly treacherous, so someone hypothesized, hey, if we spread salt on the ice, I bet it will melt. Then comes the experiment phase, testing it out with different amounts of salt in different temperatures, keeping really precise notes. And the conclusion? Yep, salt absolutely lowers the freezing point of water, making it a super effective way to clear those roads. This brilliant little method helps us cleanly categorize the rules of our physical world, too. For instance, think about melting ice versus burning wood. Melting ice is what we call a reversible change. You melt the ice to get water, but you can always just freeze that water to get ice again. No big deal. But burning wood? That turns into ash, and you definitely can't turn that ash back into a log. That is an irreversible chemical change. Science gives us the exact tools to understand why and how these changes happen. All right, moving right along to historic treasures. This is all about patience, failure, and invention. Following this scientific roadmap leads to some absolutely incredible treasures. But man, it requires immense patience and a whole lot of time. Just look at the microscope. It didn't just magically appear one day. Around 700 BC, the Assyrians created the Nimrod lens from rock crystal. Fast forward a few thousand years to 1624, and you've got Galileo improving a compound microscope to view things up close. Then take a massive leap to 1981, when scientists developed the scanning tunneling microscope. That's a tool so incredibly powerful it can actually see individual atoms. It's like this continuous, step-by-step relay race running across all of human history. And hey, speaking of historic leaps, we absolutely have to talk about the incandescent light bulb. Can you even imagine life without it? No flashlights, no late-night studying, just constantly stumbling around in the dark? But the light bulb wasn't just a sudden eureka moment by one lucky guy. It took years of grueling, super repetitive experimentation by a lot of people. Thomas Edison had to test thousands of different materials just to find a practical, long-lasting filament that would glow without just burning up immediately. And that actually brings us to one of my absolute favorite quotes. When asked how it felt to fail so many times, Edison just replied, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." I mean, how great is that? The crucial takeaway here is that failure isn't the opposite of science. It is a highly celebrated, totally essential part of the scientific method. Every single failed experiment, that's just new data pointing you closer to the right answer.
Which brings us to the impact of all this. Let's look at science in your daily life.
Because, honestly, it's not just about history. It is about right now. We are surrounded by these modern scientific miracles that we completely take for granted every single day. The alarm clock that wakes you up. The smartphone that literally connects you to the entire globe and makes digital classrooms possible. The refrigerator that keeps your food from spoiling. Even the massive healthcare leaps, like vaccines and robotic surgeries that save lives daily. Every single one of these things is the direct result of the scientific method in action.
And science isn't just a bunch of isolated subjects either. It's this incredibly interconnected web. Take something as simple as just eating a cooked meal. You need physics to understand the heat transfer used to actually cook the food. You need chemistry to understand the chemical reactions breaking down those ingredients. And of course, you need biology to understand how your body actually digests that food and turns it into energy so you can survive. It is all completely interlinked.
And that leads us to our final section, an ever-evolving process where the horizon is always expanding.
See, science is never truly finished. It's an incredibly dynamic thing, constantly replacing old ideas with brand new discoveries. For the longest time, the fully accepted, static fact was that the Earth was flat. But through exploration, careful observation, and fresh discoveries, that old idea was challenged and ultimately replaced by the dynamic, proven reality that the Earth is spherical. We didn't just stop and say, good enough. We pushed forward and expanded our knowledge.
Which brings us to this number, 0. Because that is exactly how many limits there are to what we can discover next. Literally, 0. As long as we keep testing, keep asking why, and keep exploring our environment, our scientific knowledge is going to just continue to evolve and upgrade. We're even using science right this second to figure out how to solve massive environmental issues, like pollution and water shortages, focusing heavily on sustainability to try and save our planet.
So I want to leave you with this final thought, kind of a question to chew on. What everyday observation are you going to turn into a big idea? The tools of discovery, observation, hypothesis, experimentation, and conclusion, they are right there in your hands. You were born to be curious. So go out there, look a little more closely at the world around you, and start your very own journey of discovery.